he lets go of his hand, which is kind of nuts. How crazy is this? Why would you ever let that hand go? And you know, it's one of those things. Generally, you won't, but in some cases, you do. All right, guys, I'm gonna show you a really, really cool, tricky sequence that I saw at Judo Triple. I think that's his name, from Spain. He's like a current champion. He did this on Instagram. I was like, whoa, this is so good. For many, many reasons, I'm gonna explain why it's so good. And I'm gonna show you the whole thing, okay? All right, so we're gonna be right side versus right side from here. We're gonna take a lower sleeve grip, right down by the sleeve with my intent to cut the hand. If I'm up here, it's gonna be a little bit more hard to cut. Down here, it's a lot easier to cut. So once you take this hand off here, okay, it's a lot more drop seoi-nage, sode kind of an option because there's much more space underneath. Okay, so I'm gonna go right versus right down by the sleeve cup. I'm gonna fake a seoi-nage here, okay, to gain a reaction, and then I'm gonna punch the chin and I'm gonna go koji. Once he steps out with this leg, look, I'm gonna take this hand and separate the chest here. Generally speaking, this is a really, really good timing to set up taetoshis, seoi-nages, tomonages, etc., because he's gonna try to re-grip this collar, okay? So as the hand comes up to tension, look, I can turn it, bring it by me. As the hand comes up to me, I can parry it over my shoulder and go sode. These are sort of the most common reactions. But what he does here is once he takes his hand off, he lets go of his hand, okay? Which is kind of nuts. How crazy is this? And then he switches his hand to this outside sleeve hand, okay? And he does a kataguma to the weak side here. Okay, so there's a lot of different types of katagumas, but the one he does here, he goes open, sits here, and he takes them over the opposite shoulder here. Okay, so it's a very, very interesting technique. Why would you ever let that hand go? And you know, it's one of those things. Generally, you won't. But in some cases, you do. Right? So from here, we'll adjust a little bit, fake seoi-nage, cut, and then we go kataguma here. Okay, so that's a different type of a kataguma with the same idea. Right? Really cool, right, Sensei?
Amazing.
Do you have anything to say about that kind of a move?
No, except that it's very tricky. You're not expecting the hand to come through the opposite side. You feel you've got a free hand, you're ready to re-grip, and before you know it, the guy's going on to the opposite side. It's very hard to see coming.
Amazing stuff. I was thinking.